Have you ever had a feeling you couldn't explain? A sudden pull toward a decision, or a quiet warning inside that told you not to trust someone? We like to think our choices come from logic, reason, and clear thinking. But the truth is, much of what we do is guided by something deeper. Something that never sleeps, never stops, and never runs out of things to say. It's your subconscious mind. While your conscious mind is busy dealing with what's right in front of you, solving problems, answering messages, making to-do lists, your subconscious is running everything else in the background. It shapes your thoughts, guides your emotions, influences your behaviors, and even whispers to you through feelings you don't fully understand. Think about it. When you first learned to drive a car, you had to think about everything: when to press the brake, when to shift gears, how to check the mirrors. But after a while, you don't consciously think about those steps anymore. Your subconscious takes over. You arrive at your destination and realize you barely remember the road you took. That's your subconscious working silently, like an autopilot. Or consider intuition, that strange gut feeling that warns you before your mind has even collected the facts. It's not magic. It's your subconscious connecting patterns, processing signals, and delivering the answer in the form of a whisper. Sometimes you listen, sometimes you ignore it, but it's always there. Here's what makes it even more fascinating. Scientists estimate that the conscious mind can process about 40 bits of information per second, while the subconscious mind can handle up to 11 million. Imagine that difference. While your conscious mind is like a flashlight shining on one small spot, your subconscious is the entire sky filled with stars, always there, always active, always talking. The challenge is, we rarely notice it. The noise of modern life, the endless scrolling, the constant notifications, the voices of other people's opinions, drowns it out. We've become so trained to listen to everything outside of us that we've forgotten to tune in to the most important voice inside us. But here's the question. What if the answers you've been searching for are already inside you, just hidden in whispers? Think about the last time you ignored your instincts and later regretted it. Or the last time your body showed you the truth, maybe through stress, restlessness, or even illness, before your conscious mind admitted something was wrong. That was your subconscious, speaking in the only language it could. It doesn't shout, it doesn't argue, it whispers. And when we fail to hear those whispers, they grow stronger until they turn into problems we can no longer avoid. But when we learn to recognize them, something powerful happens. We gain access to a deeper intelligence, one that's been guiding us all along. Your subconscious is not some mysterious stranger. It is you, just a version of you that works in silence, far below the noise. It's the keeper of your habits, your fears, your memories, and your hidden strengths. It holds the patterns you've repeated for years, the emotions you've buried, and the answers you're afraid to admit. And here's the truth. It's always trying to guide you, through dreams, through emotions, through symbols, through that quiet voice inside that says, "This isn't right," or "You need to pay attention." So the real question is not whether your subconscious is speaking. It's whether you are willing to listen. Because if you are, then every whisper can become a signal. Every signal can become insight. And every insight can lead you closer to the life you've been searching for, without even realizing it was within you all along. If the subconscious is always active, the next question is, how does it actually speak? Unlike the conscious mind, it doesn't use logic or language. It communicates in symbols, feelings, and subtle signals that most of us overlook. Once you know its language, you begin to notice that it's been guiding you all along. The first way it speaks is through dreams. Every night, when the conscious mind rests, the subconscious tells stories in images and symbols. Falling, being chased, showing up unprepared. These aren't random. They're coded reflections of your emotions and fears. Your subconscious doesn't hand you answers directly. Instead, it sends puzzles for you to decode, nudging you towards self-awareness. The second language is intuition, that gut feeling you get when someone feels untrustworthy or when a decision feels right before you have the facts. That's not magic. It's your subconscious connecting patterns faster than your conscious mind can keep up. It processes countless small details, tone of voice, body language, atmosphere, and delivers the result as a hunch, a pull in your stomach, or a quiet inner nudge. The subconscious also speaks through the body. Stress becomes headaches. Anxiety creates tight shoulders. Joy fills you with energy. When you suppress emotions, the body becomes the messenger. Illness, restlessness, or exhaustion often carry hidden meaning, signals that your inner world is out of balance. Another voice of the subconscious lies in habits and patterns. You wake up and reach for your phone. You eat when you're bored. You react with anger in familiar situations. These aren't just random behaviors. They're automatic programs stored deep within. Habits are how the subconscious communicates what has been reinforced again and again, shaping your life without you realizing it. It even reveals itself in small slips and symbols of daily life. A Freud. Deanne's slip, saying one thing when you meant another, can expose thoughts you've hidden. Or maybe you keep seeing the same number, phrase, or symbol. The subconscious loves repetition. It uses patterns to catch your attention, hoping you'll ask, "Why am I noticing this? What does it mean?" What's striking is that these languages are universal. Ancient cultures interpreted dreams, religions relied on symbolism, and modern psychology, especially Jung, studied archetypes and unconscious patterns. Across history, humans have recognized that beneath awareness lies a deeper voice trying to speak. Yet most of us ignore it. We dismiss dreams as nonsense, treat intuition as irrational, push aside body signals with quick fixes, and repeat habits without asking where they come from. The problem is not that the subconscious is silent. It's that we've stopped listening. Think of how many mistakes could be avoided, how many opportunities embraced, if we trusted these signals sooner. The subconscious is like a friend who never raises their voice. It keeps speaking softly, again and again, waiting for us to notice. The truth is, your subconscious is always in conversation with you. Through dreams, intuition, the body, habits, and symbols, it speaks in whispers, not shouts. And when you begin to recognize those whispers, you realize you've been guided all along. If the subconscious is always speaking, why do so few of us actually hear it? The answer is that its voice is soft, easily drowned out by the constant noise of life. Every day we are surrounded by external noise, social media notifications, endless opinions, the pressure to keep moving. From the moment we wake up, we're plugged into distractions. This outer world screams so loudly that the inner world is silenced. Then there is the internal noise. Our conscious mind is a chatterbox, analyzing, planning, worrying, replaying the past. It wants control, believing logic alone keeps us safe. But in its dominance, it leaves no space for the subconscious to be heard. It's like a stage where one actor hogs the spotlight, while the wiser one waits patiently in the shadows. Another reason we don't hear it is discomfort. The subconscious doesn't always tell us what we want to hear. It brings up fears, doubts, and truths that challenge who we think we are. Listening often means confronting buried pain, facing old memories, or admitting mistakes. And so we distract ourselves instead, numbing the whispers before they get too loud. There's also conditioning. From childhood, most of us are taught to trust reason over intuition. We're rewarded for being logical, rational, and productive, while inner feelings are dismissed as silly or overreacting. By adulthood, we're so trained to ignore our instincts that it feels unnatural to pay attention to them. And deep down, there's fear. The subconscious stores everything: joy, but also trauma and shame. Listening too closely risks stirring up what we've tried to bury. So we stay busy, hoping the whispers will fade. But they never do. When ignored, the subconscious doesn't disappear, it pushes harder. A soft nudge becomes restlessness. A buried truth becomes anxiety. A lesson avoided becomes a repeating pattern. That same wrong relationship. That same poor decision. That same self-sabotage. It's the subconscious turning up the volume until you finally notice. Imagine a wise friend who tries to guide you. At first, they speak softly. When you ignore them, they repeat themselves, louder each time. Eventually, they're shouting, not in anger, but out of care. That's your subconscious. It will not abandon you, but it will not be ignored. The tragedy is that most people only notice it when the shouting has begun, when stress has turned into illness, when cycles of failure keep repeating, when life feels stuck. But it doesn't have to reach that point. The whispers are always there, and the sooner you learn to hear them, the sooner you break free from repeating mistakes. The truth is, we don't hear the subconscious because we've been conditioned not to, because we fear what it might reveal, and because the conscious world is too noisy. But the subconscious has never stopped speaking. It waits for silence. It waits for you to remember that listening inward is as important as listening outward. And once you begin to hear it, you realize the voice you've been searching for your whole life was already within you. So far, we've discovered that the subconscious mind is always speaking, through dreams, intuition, the body, and habits. We've also seen why so many of us miss its whispers. But here's the good news. Listening is a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned. The first step is silence. The subconscious doesn't compete with noise. It waits for stillness. Even 5 minutes of quiet breathing each day can create space for it to emerge. When the conscious mind slows, you begin to notice the subtle nudges beneath the surface, thoughts, sensations, and insights that were there all along. The second method is journaling. Write freely, without censoring or editing, as if you're letting the subconscious pour onto the page. Often, hidden feelings and ideas reveal themselves when given the chance. Some call this automatic writing. You write faster than you think, and the deeper mind speaks through your hand. A third way is to pay attention to dreams. Keep a notebook by your bed and write them down the moment you wake up. At first they may seem random, but over time patterns emerge. A recurring symbol, an emotion, or a repeated setting may point to something your subconscious is urging you to face. Then there's body awareness. Stress in your chest, tension in your shoulders, butterflies in your stomach. These are not random sensations. They're messages. Try a daily body scan. Sit quietly and notice where you feel tightness or ease. Ask yourself, what is my body trying to say? The answer often comes intuitively. Another technique is active imagination, developed by Carl Jung. Here's how it works. Imagine yourself having a conversation with a dream character, an inner voice, or even an abstract symbol. Ask it questions. Let it answer in your mind. At first it may feel strange, but soon the dialogue becomes surprisingly insightful, like speaking directly with your subconscious. Finally, follow your intuition in small ways. Don't start with life-changing decisions. Begin with something simple, choosing a book, a walk, or what to eat. Notice how it feels when you trust the inner nudge, compared to when you ignore it. Over time, you'll build confidence in your inner compass. The key is consistency. The subconscious doesn't reveal everything at once. It reveals itself gradually as trust grows. Think of it like a friendship. The more you listen, the more it opens up. The less you judge, the more it shares. And here's the truth. Listening to the subconscious isn't about magic. It's about reconnecting with the part of yourself you've always carried but forgotten to trust. When you make space for it, through silence, writing, dreams, body signals, imagination, and intuition, you begin to live with a deeper awareness. Because the subconscious has only one goal, to guide you toward wholeness. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand, it whispers. And once you learn its language, you realize it's been guiding you your entire life, waiting patiently for you to finally listen. By now, you know the subconscious is always speaking. You know how it communicates, and you've learned ways to finally hear it. But listening is only the beginning. The real transformation happens when you act on what you discover, when insight becomes power. The subconscious doesn't whisper for entertainment. It whispers to guide you, to protect you, to push you toward growth. Dreams that keep repeating, gut feelings that tug at you, habits that frustrate you. These aren't just random events. They are signals asking for action. For example, if your dreams often place you in situations where you feel unprepared, maybe your subconscious is warning you about procrastination or hidden self-doubt. The insight isn't enough. You must take steps to prepare, to face the fear directly. Listening without acting is like being given a map and refusing to follow it. This is where transformation begins, by translating whispers into choices. One way is to reframe patterns. Notice a destructive habit. Instead of blaming yourself, ask, what need is this habit trying to meet? Maybe overeating isn't about hunger, but about comfort. Once you see the truth, you can find healthier ways to meet the same need. That's turning subconscious insight into conscious power. Another way is to trust intuition in big decisions. The subconscious sees more than you realize. It connects experiences, feelings, and subtle cues faster than logic. The more you practice following it in small matters, the more confidence you'll have when the stakes are high. Many successful people credit their breakthroughs to a gut decision they couldn't fully explain, but later realized was right. Then there's healing through awareness. Sometimes the subconscious brings up old pain, not to hurt you, but to release you. When a memory surfaces, instead of running from it, sit with it. Acknowledge it. By listening with compassion. You dissolve its hold over your present life. That is transformation at the deepest level. And finally, creativity. The subconscious is a well of imagination, always bubbling beneath the surface. Many artists, inventors, and visionaries have said their greatest ideas came not from hard thinking, but from dreams, flashes of intuition, or moments of silence. When you listen, you don't just heal, you create. The secret to turning insight into power is simple. Don't ignore what you find. Act on it. Trust it. Shape your choices around it. The subconscious is like a compass. It won't walk the path for you, but it will always point you in the right direction. And remember this, the whispers never stop. Even now, as you listen to these words, your subconscious is responding, nudging, questioning, stirring feelings. Maybe it's reminding you of something you've been avoiding. Maybe it's pushing you towards something you've been dreaming of. So ask yourself, what is it saying right now? And more importantly, will you act on it? Because the moment you do, you stop living on autopilot. You stop ignoring your inner truth. You step into alignment with the deepest part of yourself. That's when life changes. That's when listening turns into transformation.